Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Ari, and on my channel I share my life as a consultant and bits and pieces of what I do for fun outside of work. Today, I'm gonna take you guys along with me on my big move to New York City. As some of you may know, I transferred to the New York office from the Tokyo office that I had been working at for about 3.5 years. And I'm actually filming this intro from my first ever New York City apartment. I'll be posting a video on my first New York City apartment sometime in the near future, but today I want to share with you guys the best in-flight experience I have ever had in my life on ANA's business class seat, the room. Let's get on with the video. My flight to New York was the ANA NH-110 that I believe flies every morning from Tokyo Haneda International Airport to New York John F. Kennedy International Airport, also known as JFK. My flight was at 10:20 a.m., so I arrived at the airport at around 7:30 just to be safe. But as you can see here, the airport was pretty empty. So luckily, I didn't have to wait in line for that long, which gave me more time to hang out with my dear Bryce before my flight. We got to explore the airport a little bit together, and even though none of the shops or restaurants were open yet, we got to go out onto this lovely deck overlooking all the planes, which was super cool. Because I was flying business class on this day, I was able to access the ANA lounge before my departure. They had some food and drinks, as well as comfortable seating areas where I had a cup of coffee before my long-ass 13-hour flight to New York. Just boarded the plane and about to leave Tokyo. So pretty outside. Sad to say bye to everyone, especially Bryce, but I'm ready to go on my next adventure. Once I boarded the plane, the beautiful cabin crew greeted me and offered me a welcome drink of either champagne or orange juice. I didn't feel like drinking alcohol right off the bat, so I took the orange juice, which was super refreshing. The seat also came with an amenity kit, headphones, slippers, a blanket, a seat cover, and 2 pillows. I actually have the amenity kit with me still. It's called Globetrotter. The amenity kit came with an eye mask and earplugs, which I did not use. Yuzu chapstick and face mist by Shiro. I did use this on the flight because it got really dry, and this really came in handy. And then finally, they also have a toothbrush, which I did not use because I already had my own. But yeah, it comes in this really cute little pack, like this, and it was really handy to have on the flight. As you may have already noticed, just as the name of the seat suggests, these business class seats were huge. The seats had this giant monitor where you could watch shows and movies, play games, look at the map, etc. And the remote for the TV was right next to the TV. There was also so much leg space on these seats. I do have fairly short legs compared to the average human, but my legs were nowhere near touching the end of the seat when I put my legs up. For you, I got nothing and I'm crazy. The first meal on this flight was dinner. For dinner, I was able to choose between Japanese and Western cuisine. Since I was leaving Japan, I decided to go with the Japanese cuisine to enjoy some good Japanese food one last time. For the amuse, they served a cinnamon and ginger breadstick and a sweet potato salad with grated apple and prawn. It was pretty delicious. I couldn't believe this was airplane food. It honestly felt like I was eating at a high-end restaurant. It was pretty crazy. Then for zensai and kobachi, they served 3 beautiful dishes with a mix of seafood, meat, and vegetables. Look at how beautiful the display is. Again, could not believe I was having this dish on a flight. Finally, for the main dish, they served gyudon with miso soup and rice and some Japanese pickles. This was the perfect finish to an in-flight 3-course meal. For dessert, I chose to get a plate of fruits with coffee. Again, the fruits were fresh and the coffee was absolutely delicious. The coffee also came with this cute little chocolate, which made the coffee taste 1,000 times better. I watched a Netflix movie on my iPad, The Tinder Swindler, that I had downloaded before my flight as I enjoyed my dessert and coffee. After finishing the movie, I was in a slight food coma, so I decided to take a nap. For my nap, I wanted to take full advantage of what this business class seat had to offer, so I made my seat into the room. There were 2 buttons, one on the right side next to the table, and one right by my seat on the left-hand side. When I pressed the button next to my table, half of the door closed horizontally. And when I pressed the button by my seat, the other half closed vertically. And ta-da! Incredible, right? Although there's still a tiny space in the middle, and obviously if someone were to peek into your room from the top, they could see what you're doing. Generally, you have full privacy. It was incredible. And to make this private room even more comfortable, you can recline your seat all the way back and lift the leg rest all the way up. So you're basically lying there horizontally as if you're lying down on a bed. I took a nice, comfortable nap thanks to this reclining function and the soft pillows that they had. After my nap, I was looking at the food menu when I realized they have these in-flight meals called light dishes anytime. And this is completely separate from the scheduled meals that they serve. So I decided to try out the spicy ramen. It was warm and wasn't too spicy, which made for the perfect post-nap snack. After I had the ramen, I was still hungry and wanted to take full advantage of this business class ticket. So I ordered another dish from the light dishes anytime. This time I got a cheese plate which had 3 different types of cheese, 2 slices of baguette, and some prunes. Even though I was still hungry after my cheese plate, I held off from ordering another dish since the cabin crew announced that they were going to serve breakfast soon. For breakfast, I chose the cheese omelet with sausage and some bread. I must admit that dinner was a lot better than breakfast, but it was still great quality given that it was, again, an in-flight meal. Before I had breakfast, I was chatting with one of the cabin crew members. She was super sweet. She asked me why I was going to New York, so I explained to her my whole situation with the big transition, and we just ended up chatting for a while about life and work because I think she was around my age. After breakfast, the cabin crew brought this beautiful dessert platter congratulating me on my move and transfer to New York. It was such a kind gesture, and even her chatting with me alone made me feel less lonely on the flight. So I just want to give her a shout out if she ever watches this video and just say that I really appreciate the service I received, not just on this flight, but in the past flying a.k.a, even when I was in economy class, because you really get the service you pay for. The whole gesture just made the flight 1,000 times better than it already was. Because of the comfortable long nap I was able to take and the fun interactions with the cabin crew, the 13-hour flight went by fairly quickly, and before I knew it, we were at JFK. Because I arrived early in the morning, there was no line at immigration, and I actually went through the gates pretty quickly. They didn't do a PCR test. They only checked my visa and my passport, and that was kind of it. So it was a very quick and smooth process getting out of the airport. From the time that I arrived at JFK to the time that I left the airport, I think it only took me about 20 minutes in between to get my luggage and get all of my documents checked. So it was a fairly smooth process. Overall, I had a very pleasant experience flying on their business class seat and would definitely choose to fly with them again if I could afford it myself. But I hope you got a good sense of what flying in ANA's The Room is like. And if you enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more content from me. I will be posting a video on my first few days in New York sometime soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you guys for watching and hope to see you in my next video. Bye!